So we actually made it to the island, and I don't know, I just can't describe how much this means to me and what a feeling it is to actually be here. I mean, we have been on the roads for 5 months, and it's been an amazing journey, and all the places that we have been visiting has of course transformed us in one way or another. But being on the mainland, I guess it still felt like, like a prolonged road trip. I don't know if I ever felt it was being real, that we actually left our home, that we don't have an apartment anymore, all that stuff. But being 36 hours plus with a ferry away from the mainland and just on this island is just, it's a dream come true. When I pictured us doing the van life, I always saw us living on the islands. And now we are here. It's crazy. To us, it is crazy. But we're here. It's amazing.
And just like that, we went from spending 10 magical days with Linda and Billy, whom we met on the road and became like family, every day in complete togetherness, to a sudden, quiet solitude. We were back, hiding in the mountains. Just us and the vast, untouched nature. I love how every new place we end up at has its own story to tell. Even if it's sometimes only days apart, everything is suddenly totally different. From late nights and deep conversations, we are now in silence. Early mornings with warm winds whispering through the trees, even though it's late in October and we are high above the clouds. Everything is so quiet and breathtakingly beautiful. I have never experienced being in the mountains when the climate is this mild. We've really caught the last days of the summer breeze, just as autumn waits on the horizon.
Good morning, guys. I think it's going to be another 30 degrees Celsius day up here in the mountains, which is just incredible. We are parked at a very cool spot on the Canary Islands. There are certain areas which you can apply for online to get a permit to park there and to set up proper camp as well, which is amazing. So we found one of those spots, and it's still just like wild camping because we are in the middle of the nature, high up in the mountains, and there is literally no one else up here at this point, at this low season, which is absolutely incredible. So this mountain is going to be our home for the following days.
He was 16, holding her hand. They were wasting all the time they had. They were building big wonders they knew. Time stayed as long as they wanted, remained as much as they needed. The world flies around me with you.
If there's anything I've learned about life on the road, it's that it's inevitably a life full of contrasts. Every beautiful view usually also comes with its own set of challenges. Right now for us, it's that the days have suddenly become so much shorter. We find ourselves with hours of dusk to fill, trying to make the most of it. I know it might sound like a luxury problem, but trust me, in our tiny home, 14 hours of pitch black darkness up in the mountains can feel like a lot. Some days the power we manage to store from the sun barely lasts long enough to keep the lights on, and by 8 o'clock we're some days already settling into bed.
Good morning, guys. We have a really exciting day in front of us. We are heading to this super remote beach that is completely off from everything. And the night sky over there is supposed to be really clear and dark and free from light pollution. So I have this idea, since the nights are still so warm, that we will go there and to bring all our pillows and blankets out and just stargaze the entire night. Yes, that makes me so excited.
Åh, vad mysigt! Ta gott! Nej, fy fan vad dåligt kast! I'm going to make some popcorn because this is going to be some movie. This place is just incredible and it's so remote and there's no service out here and I just love it. It's going to be amazing. I soon learned that not only does this beach have an incredibly clear sky, but actually 30% of the entire island is protected by something called Ley del Cielo, or the law of the sky, that operates to minimize light pollution in specific areas. And I really can't remember the last time I saw the night sky this vivid. Moments like these make me so grateful for this life and the contrasts it brings. From spending a long summer with bright nights, darkness now falls already at 6, and up here in the mountains, it completely envelopes you just minutes after the sun sets. It's like a giant black canopy pierced with thousands upon thousands of stars. Every night since we arrived, we've been able to see the Milky Way with our bare eyes. No wonder I have become slightly obsessed with stargazing on this island. I suddenly remembered this app that reveals planets and constellations when you point it at the sky. And I don't know, it's like every cell in my body just exhales, lying on this remote beach, completely disconnected from everything, becoming part of the ancient imagination that once named these celestial bodies we're gazing at, centuries later. And how cool and absolutely magical is that? The next morning, we crossed an entire mountain to reach an even more secluded beach, accessible only by foot or by boat. Not going to lie, it was quite a hike, but oh my gosh, it was so worth it. Some places just fill you with so much inspiration, being completely out of service and unreachable.
I think that I want to stay here, like forever.
It felt like we put every responsibility on pause. I didn't realize how much I needed that kind of freedom. It even got me questioning if this is what I'm truly after in my search for freedom. Fewer responsibilities, less adulthood, a way to escape everything and everyone that tries to demand anything from me. I realized that for some, it might seem just like that's the case. But the truth is the exact opposite. We are actually taking on more responsibility than probably ever before. In fact, this might even be the first time I feel fully accountable for everything that comes in our way. I used to blame countless circumstances for why I wasn't living the life I wanted. And if you had asked me as little as a year ago, I would have sworn that each excuse made perfect sense. Until I realized that the blame was on me. Because there is nothing and no one who can dictate how we use our precious time on Earth. So in this moment, all I can think of is that we finally did it. And I'm going to make the absolute most of it, letting nothing slip through my fingers ever again. So all I want to ask is, do you want to come along?